in first canto, the first syllable said Om. Monks who renounce the world, what do they renounce? This Upanishad is called At the Feet of Monk too. Actual meaning of this Upanishad. Mundaka, shaven head, the monk. How a monk teaches his student or disciple. Monk should not have any such thing claiming that this thing belongs to me. This is mine. And this is not mine. He should not have any such ishna. So the teacher of Mundaka Upanishad should be a monk or then a perfect householder like Sonuka. A perfect householder is not less than a monk. In Vedic tradition, there have been two streams of knowledge. One is path of renunciation. Another is path of the world, performing rituals, doing your duties, preparing yourself for attaining the higher rungs of life. They are like action and knowledge. Action and knowledge. But the monks say they are like darkness and light. Why action is considered to be darkness? Because there is nothing, no matter what action you perform, even best of the actions that you perform is not means of liberation. Question comes. If best of the actions, which is selfless, is not means of liberation, what is the means of liberation? The Upanishads say wisdom, knowledge, knowledge of the Absolute alone. Then you say, why do you perform good actions? What difference does it make whether you perform good action or a bad action? And what is that bad action? Why do you consider any action to be bad? And what power a human being has to perform bad actions? From where this evil arises? And from where that good comes? So Upanishads do not talk about evil, or do not talk about any such thing, but Upanishad say pleasant. That which is called pleasant is not good. And that which is called good may not be pleasant. A blessed pill can be bitter. A pill has a blessed effect, but it can be bitter. You don't like to take it. You don't like to have it. So let you learn to understand that a blessed pill has blessed effect. This is not the case in all our actions. Gradually we will lead. We are all going in a procession, you and me, according to Vedas, seeking and searching with all our dignity and prestige, with all our might and fully equipped through that dense forest which is called life, and finally approach that absolute truth which liberates us from all levels of bondages. I told you yesterday, there is no such discrimination as far as enlightenment is concerned. Many a times a sadhaka aspirant on the path of enlightenment and practice thinks that he has known everything, and he has not to know anything more, and he is free. Suddenly a bubble arises from the lake of his mind because somebody throws a small pebble, annoys him, something against and adverse goes on, and when he sees bubble, he is disturbed. So on the path of realization, on the path of enlightenment, when you practice, do not ever feel that you have known everything. Shruti says, Neti, Neti. If you go to teacher and say, you have known everything, he will say, no, you have not known anything. When I was young, so I was sent to many teachers. In our lineage, there is only one master, but there are many teachers. And we are sent to different teachers to study their ways, methods, styles. So there was a Swami outside the skirt of Haldwani, a town which is situated at the foot of the Himalayas, under the tree, lying like a lord of the universe. Not wearing anything, he was not aware of himself. Continuously I went to visit him for 11 days, but I found him in the same way every day. So I started pressing his feet, pressing his body. I thought he must be tired. He will be pleased with me. He will get up, give me some teachings. My first experience going to other, I was a spoiled brat. I used to talk to my master the way I wanted. If somebody talks to me today, I feel annoyed. Same thing I used to talk to him. So he wanted to teach me lesson, or perhaps he wanted to give me back with the same coins. So, in a second's time, he kicked me on my breast, and I rolled down 50 feet away. My body started aching, so I got angry. I picked up a rock. I said, Swami knows Swami business. If anybody beats him, I will beat him back. When I came up, so I found he was lying under a tree. Sugarcane husk was lying all over. And he used to chew that whenever he felt, and he would again go to that state of Turiya. And he was smiling when I went. I had a rock with me. So I looked at him, I said, tell me, why did you kick me? He said, I wanted to know. Your Guru told you to completely renounce kama, krodha, moha and lobha. Desire for enjoying things, a prime desire that is called kama. Krodha means anger. If your kama is not fulfilled, you get angry. If your desire is not fulfilled, you get angry. Anger means unfulfilled desire. A desire that was not fulfilled frustrates you and you lose your temper. That's called anger. If your desire is fulfilled, you are intoxicated with something. Become proud. Oh yes, I wanted to build a good home, better than my neighbors. You get proud. In either case, you lose your balance. When you get proud, you get attached to the things which you have. And then you become greedy. You don't want to share with others. He said, your Guru told you to kill all these. I find them very active in you, my boy. I was very much ashamed. I said, he's talking about, I said, you can talk directly to me, but not about my Guru. There is nothing wrong with him. He said, you are giving bad name to your Guru. You see. I was puffed up with pride that so far I am free from all these, you see, emotional outbursts. They will not affect me. I am beyond kama, krodha, lobha, moha, ahankara. Beyond all this. Second time, I was traveling in a train. This is truth. It's a fact what I am relating to you, not from the storybooks. In South India, so there are classes in the train, first class, second class, third class. I was traveling in first class, sitting quietly on side, wearing my shawl. And there was one Swamiji traveling. And he had so many disciples that at every station, railroad station, people flocked to have his glance, darshan. So some man got in and asked, Swamiji, do you get angry? He said, no, I don't get angry. I have conquered anger. Don't you know, boy? That's why people respect me and love me and adore me. That's why I have millions of disciples all over the world. Again he asked, sure you don't get angry? He said, certainly not. He said, are you very sure, sir, that you don't get angry? He went on asking. Exactly in 3 minutes' time, Swami got angry. And Swami says, I am going to break your head and throw you outside. He said, that's what I wanted to know, that you get angry. I think, Swamiji, I am better than you. I didn't get angry and you got angry. Sometimes, if we are not aware of our actions, of our discipline that we are practicing, we might get deluded, hypnotized by our own ahankara, egotism, and feel that we have learned the ways and method we have practiced. The absolute knowledge I am talking of is that knowledge which is received from the source of infinity, limitless. Now, how to attain that knowledge? Mundaka Upanishad first says, always learn to pray. You will find difference in the prayers of the Upanishads, and ordinarily we pray. Upanishadic prayers never say, oh Lord, give me my daily bread. As we pray at home, oh Lord, give me this and give me this and give me that. No. Yesterday I told you that amidst all this material prosperity, amidst this prosperity and wisdom of the external world which we were able to attain, still we find darkness within us. And everybody is searching for something. Anyone who knows something about life is trying to search. He doesn't know what it is. He goes to a temple or church, he goes to a teacher, he studies this book, he does this work, that work, but no one seems to be in a state of equilibrium. It means there is a silent revolution going on. This silent revolution is going on because of a crisis that is called a spiritual crisis in our daily life. Many times mothers say, children, let me be alone. She loved her children. To have those children, she had to go through death. Labor is like death. And with great pleasure, she went through that. You see. She's prepared to die. Many women are prepared to die if they have a child. Doesn't matter. You see. But that she comes sometimes with the truth, let me be alone. Let me be alone means not make me lonely. That's different. No mother says, children make me lonely. Because she's already lonely, poor girl. Let me be alone. All alone means all in one. Actually, if you are all alone, you are one with the reality and with the truth. But have you learned the way of being all alone? For being all alone, you will have to learn that which Aranika, a forest dweller, learns to be by himself or herself, learns to study the teachings of the silence, learn to study, understand solitude, learn to study the way of going back to the origin from where all sounds proceed. But there is serious chaos created by our way of life. A poet says, when I was young, I had strength. I did not understand what was right and wrong. When I became old, I don't have strength. I lost all my strength. I knew what was right and wrong, but alas, I don't have strength. When you are young and energetic, you do not care. You forget. You do not become aware of the truth. In old age, which is shaken childhood, but full of follies, where mind remains preoccupied, and even after doing many mortifications, practices, mind still travels in old grooves, and you do not know what to do with yourself. You always complain, my mind is not under my control. You always say. Don't you say this? Come on. Question itself is wrong. Concept itself is wrong. That my mind is not under my control. Why do you want to control your mind? You have formed the habit of controlling everybody at home. A woman wants to control her husband, wants to control her children, wants to control everything. Husband wants to control everything. Control means what? What do you mean by control? Suppose you put this question to me. Now, in the Upanishads, language is very exact and correct. You have put a question, how can I control my mind? I say your question is badly formulated. Why do you want to control your mind? What do you mean by controlling your mind? The language which we use is so imperfect that communication is disrupted, such as, is it true, am I lying, that sun sets in the west? Am I lying? I don't think so. But this is a lie. Sun never sets. I can say, wow, that sun sets in the west, and I am right. But from Upanishadic viewpoint, this is wrong. Sun never sets, boy. It never sets in the west. It never rises from the east. Sun never sets. It's already there. You see. When we use such a language which is imperfect, how can we help our communication? Because language is one means to communicate with others, and that is why a human being is considered to be, though animal, but he's called speaking human animal. Among all species, human being is considered to be higher because he can narrate, he can communicate, he can smile. His expressions are far more superior than the expression of any other kingdom in the world. There is no expression, nothing can be noticed from the rocks. Very few expressions can be noticed, which when you cut the trunk of the tree, the tree also feels pain exactly the way we feel. Its nervous system is not so active, not so sensitive, it's dull. Animal's kingdom. Animal's kingdom is sensitive, but not as much as human beings. Now, imagine, in this tiny earth of ours, we human beings talk of enlightenment and perfect wisdom and perfection and wisdom. While there are trillions of worlds like this, we don't have any proof. Perhaps we are not enlightened enough. Perhaps we are not civilized enough. Perhaps we do not have means to communicate with other worlds and the beings of the other world. Perhaps life, what is possible that there is no life in another, planets? Impossible. Why God is so kind, or why the providence created we human beings and in a very systematic way, according to the plan when you study on this small earth? Why there is no life in other planets? The answer is there is life in other planets, but in different forms. And we don't have means to communicate with them. And those who have means, they communicate with them. Now, you might laugh at me. I am not a person who believes in science. But I am a person who believes that one can communicate with the dead. You can easily communicate with somebody who is in the bathroom, who is not wearing clothes. If you know what death is, and then come to know that one who does not have the garment, no body, you can easily learn to communicate with him. By understanding one thing, and that is, whole of the body is in the mind, but whole of the mind is not in the body. So when you talk of mind, don't think that you are talking of something with a tiny, that something which is in your head. And when you are talking of control, mind control, can you tell me what is that mind control I promised to teach you? If I don't teach you, don't allow me to go. You see. Kill me by throwing rocks if I don't teach you. But tell me, what is that? Now come up. I want to know, what do you mean by mind control? You often say, Swamiji, I cannot control my mind. This is a common cry. What do you mean by control your cry? Now let me reply. For having control over your mind means first you should learn your mind. What is that? Simple point is, your mind, your body is a projection of your mind. I am going to explain through Mundaka Upanishad, the theory of evolution, how all things come up, then go to the same ocean of bliss and come up again. Yes. When you talk of mind control, I am prepared to teach you how can I control my mind. You are talking a language which is not philosophical language, which is not yogic language. How teacher will listen? It's just like that. Mommy, how can I have a candy? And then I think this student does not deserve any further teaching, instructions, because he has not brooded on the subject. He has not tried to understand what mind is and how body is related to mind. Is it possible for us to understand mind, then have perfect method of learning how to use that mind for our purpose, both by being successful in the world and by using that mind for the sake of enlightenment? Is there any possibility that mind could be helpful as far as enlightenment is concerned? That mind which seems to be a wall between you and reality, is it possible for that mind that can be cultured, that can be cultivated, and then you can attain something? As you think about your body, the subtle substance of your body is your mind, because body is projection of your mind. Why do I look like this? Because my mind wanted me to look like this. That's why I'm like this. If my mind improves, perhaps I would look better. You see? Now you will find when there is no life in the human body, that human body is expression which is called dead, which is considered to be dead. And that person who is living, when he is in full vigor, when he smiles and is very happy without anxieties, pains and agonies, look at the difference of expression. Who is giving that expression to you? Body you have, but expression you do not have. Their body you have, but expression you have. When mind is filled with delight, that finest of instrument that we have today, to be used in the external world, such a mind is filled with delight, there comes blooming expression on your face. Then you act, you perform righteous actions in the external world. So mind control does not mean mind is vast. When I taught you Upanishad, in Upanishad there is something very subtle that comes. We know that there is no movement in Brahman, because there is no space for him to move. Everywhere he exists. He is omnipresent. Where will be the space? Who can make a space for the Brahman to move? Anejadekam manaso jagiyo, one of the mantras says. Nanadevatman purmashat. There is something anejadekam, there is no movement. But who is faster than mind? The students will not understand if the teacher does not explain it. Why is it faster than mind? But no matter how fast mind travels, sound travels, but faster is light. Light travels, but faster is mind. Mind wants to travel fast, but mind finds spirit, cosmic spirit, absolute truth everywhere. That's why it is said, Anejadekam manaso jagiyo. Faster than mind. You see. No matter how fast mind runs, it is there. When you train your mind, you do not need to control your mind, you need to make your mind orderly mind. So that your mind remains orderly. Whenever you need help from your mind, you need to remember something which you read. You need to remember the name of your friend. Sometimes you get upset. I remember, but you are not remembering his name. Suppose someone telephones you and says, what is the telephone, what is the name of your friend whom you met in France? Oh, wait a minute, I remember. By that time, that poor fellow has lost $200. Because that memory is not at your disposal. You know, yet you cannot be benefited by your knowing. If you ask scientists or doctors, they will say brain cells are fastly deteriorating, they are dying, there are more than 10 billion cells, there is deterioration, and that's why there is loss of memory. But that's not enough. When we discuss about mind and brain, then we'll find out mind is different from brain. They are two entirely different things. Let mind be at your disposal whenever you need it. You need that type of mind. Now, during meditation, you are sitting in meditation. Meditation means you are trying to attend the object, focal point given to you by your teacher. It may be a mantra. It may be an object according to your capacity. It may be tiny light. It may be a color. There are numerous objects given to you for meditation so that your mind gets concentrated. But if you really know the real system and do not suffer on account of hasty decisions. Hasty means, let me tell you my survey. Here, I would like to go out of the way and remind you. American people and American people are the best in the whole world, in a sense that their grasp is better than any other child in the world. But there is a serious problem in American people, which is not found elsewhere. They are constantly bathing in material waters. So they cannot persist. They are so carefree, if you ask 10 questions to any American, he will not talk to you again. He does not want to be questioned because he is accustomed to free life. God has blessed you with many virtues. May I ask you that you learn to bless yourself? I don't find that blessings from the self. I don't find the grace that comes from within. You are searching and seeking, but constantly bathing in material waters, and you don't have patience. So for lack of practice, you want to jump immediately. If you systematically go with meditation, it's a very simple method. Why do you want to meditate? Now, the first mantra of Kento also says, Om Brahman, Om Brahma, as the first manifested one. The designer, architect, and guardian of the universe taught his eldest son, Atharvana, the science of Brahman, the foundation of all sciences. In the beginning, there was nothing, no matter, no energy. Even the Bible says. All the Bibles of the earth believe in this, that in the beginning there was nothing. Brahma here, which has many other names, Prajapati, the first manifested one, not the created one. There is difference between the word creation and manifestation. Many translators did not take care of the exact language. The Vedic language do not talk of creation. Creation word is used by a teacher so that student understands. Actual word is manifestation. Purushukta says it. How Prajapati created all this. Prajapati, that Brahma, was manifested first. That first one who was born is called Brahma. There are 3 words you should know. Brahmana, the custodian of Vedic literature, of early Indo-Aryan literary monuments. They were custodian, so there was a tradition to study That's why that class was considered to be high class, and everyone, even today, respects them. If they know you are Brahman, definitely they will respect you. Because surely in your home you have studied something from your tradition, through your tradition, something about Vedas which others do not know. It's a vast literature. So Brahma, as the first one, was manifested. Creation, I want to create something. How can I create? I need something side by side material to create if I want to create. As a pot maker makes a pot, he needs earth, he needs wheel, he needs fire. This is not the case with the unmanifested reality, the silent reality, imperishable reality, that absolute truth. He manifested himself as Brahma. First manifestation. Now, you know, mathematics will easily tell you. We always teach in mathematics, suppose. Entire science starts from supposition, not from reality. Suppose there is a dot. Now this extends and that becomes 1. There is 1 all over. So where is the sense of creation? There is no material. Except 1, there is nothing. Except 1 reality, 1 absolute reality, which is called Brahman, absolute reality without second, there is nothing. So there is no sense of creating. Manifestation. There is only 1, and that 1 is everywhere. There is no space empty, there is no material apart from that 1. So that 1 alone exists with all its majesty. It manifests itself into 2. 2 means 1 and 1. I am making it 2 like that because you know what it is. We have learned this, we have made this 2 according to our... Actually, this is 2. Because it's a manifestation of 1. This is 3. Go on making manifest. 1 manifests, finally it becomes 100. What is 100? 100 means 1. 1 completes itself into 1. Reduce 1 from 1, 1 remains 1. You see. So manifestation means 1. 1 manifests. That unmanifested truth or reality in the beginning created first 1, manifested first 1, and that is called Brahma. Now there are 3-4 words like that, not Brahman. It's Brahma, M-A, not N. Brahman is absolute reality. Brahma is first born. Brahmana is custodian. Then Brahmana is a part of Veda. Yes. Who is designer and architect and guardian of this universe? Brahma, the first one. He is a designer, creator, and he can create. With the help of what? With the help of Maya. with the help of that principle which is considered to be female principle, Maya, Shakti. So this knowledge was given to Brahma by the unmanifested one. That is why these books, these words, Upanishads, are called impersonal. No human authorship. No one can claim that I have created Vedas. They are called Shrutis. What the seers and sages did then? They have heard in their deep meditation, in profound silence, they heard the truths of life. And that's why the truths of life, not the truth. You see. Satyasa Satyam. Truth of truths. That truth which is self-existent projects itself into many, and that is called manifestation. That Prajapati Brahma manifested. He is considered to be the architect. He was taught by whom? Who taught him? How could he transmit that knowledge to his son Atharvana? Who taught him during that time? There was no other creature. So knowledge was there from the very beginning. When he was manifested, with the manifestation, with the help of the manifestation, that many say tapa. He did tapa. Brahman does not need to do tapa. I and you will do tapa. You know, there are 4 words he used in Patanjali. Please don't worry for the time. When I am speaking and you are listening, I have to complete. I have not yet started. And I have to complete these 8 mantras today. Did Panditji warn you? That's what I told you. I forget. So it's good to forget and discuss Brahman. It's a great happiness. So tapas actually means Shankaracharya, the great scholar, the great philosopher, a great yogi said, tapas means knowledge. He brought that knowledge from the unmanifested. When he was manifested, the first man was born, he brought knowledge with him. Now, if we go back to the history, let us forget knowledge. From where do I have these blood flowing in my veins and arteries? From do you have this? Who has given you this blood? Find out the first person from where we have received this blood, this life. We all are children of that first one. All the blood that is flowing in our veins is from him. No matter where we live, which tradition we follow, which culture do we have, which religion we believe in. So there were 2 great teachers on the earth. The first who was born was called Brahma, and the first who died was called Yama. Yama was a teacher of Nachiketa, and Brahma was a teacher of the absolute truth, who taught to his son Atharva. You see. Who created his wife, and when did he get married? And when did he have son? Human being's desire is so powerful. If he desires to do something and applies all his beings, he fulfills that desire. What to talk about desire of the Brahma, the firstborn? He desired and he had a son. And his name was Atharvana. So he imparted that knowledge of absolute truth to Atharvana. That absolute truth in a systematic manner, which is called science. What is the difference between science and non-sciences? That which is systematized and organized, that is called science. He taught that Vidya, Brahma Vidya, knowledge of the truth, knowledge of the absolute in a scientific manner, which is foundation of all sciences. It means the science, absolute, the truth, absolute truth, knowledge of the absolute is the very foundation of all the sciences. Then same knowledge was transmitted to Angir, the seer, Rishi. Rishi Aproksh Darshane. And then Rishi, Angir taught it to Satyabha, the son of Bharadwaja. And the son of Bharadwaja taught it from the beginning to the end to Angiras. This is a guru lineage. Why these names are mentioned? What was the necessity of putting many such names? This knowledge, this science systematically flows from the eternal stream which is called guru lineage. This is not taught in these schools and colleges. When I was doing my master's degree, we used to have darshanas, dashyate annena, through which you can know the truth. But whenever question of Upanishads come, the teacher would keep quiet, would not speak much. Because this knowledge was imparted traditionally, mostly today it is imparted in the monasteries by the teacher who have received this knowledge from their teacher, from that unbroken lineage. Saunaka, he of the great halls. It means Saunaka was not a Swami, a yogi, a renunciate. He was from the great halls. He was a rich man. He had all the worldly pleasures. Approached Angiras in a proper manner. What is the proper manner? I told you. What is the proper manner of? No. Here proper manner is different. First you go to a guru with a bundle of twigs. That is traditional way. Dry twigs. Not with the fruit of basket, some dollars in it and checks in it. The conditions today are different. The guruship is degenerated. The discipleship also is degenerated. During that time, gurus would not accept any such thing. The gurukulas where Guru used to dwell, they did not accept any fee from their students. They would not accept the students so easily, and any student they accepted, no fee was. It was Guru's duty, Gurukula's duty, to feed, to look after the comfort, to look after the students. There was no comfort actually. You had to sleep on the floor. You had to work hard whole day. A difference between that time and now is this. Modern students say, Swami, is there any way that I can become a straight-away teacher and start teaching from the platform and you come down and listen to me? He does not want to do any effort. He does not want to serve his teacher. He does not want to do anything. He immediately wants to become teacher without becoming a student. No. The stories come. You find for 30 years a student remained with his guru studying. Yet he did not understand the whole Vidya, the absolute science of the truth. Another 70 years he studied, and finally he attained. But remember, age has no bar. As far as one thing I told you, it is not important whether you are a woman or man, male or female, it is not important whether you are young or old. Knowledge does not know age. What I mean to say, for enlightenment, age is not a bar. A child can have that inspiration. Even whole life you spend and you will not have. You can do it in old age, in few days' time, in few years' time. You see. But if you really want to attain peace and happiness and absolute happiness, learn to tread the path of silence, learn to tread the path of inner light, and then you will go to the silence within you, where you will find that beauty, that splendor, which is called self of all and liberated. See, Sonaka was a householder. So don't have that complex, I am in the world, I have a wife, I have a home, I have children, I am a worldly man, I cannot learn. These Swamis have renounced their superior. No, no, no. People coming from great halls learned it, Sonaka. And he became one of the teachers in the tradition. But he went in a proper manner. In a manner a student should go with all his humility to his teacher. Why does he carry this? Now, if you will not forget, all the ceremonies of the Vedas are the fire ceremonies. To keep the fire awakened. There are homes in India where there is fire for 1,000 years. 5 homes I know. For 1,000 years the fire is there, it's burning. The word Agni means Agranim too. When Indo-Aryans used to travel, they used to carry Agni with them, fire. But one who carried fire is also called Agni, because he used to go ahead. He was called a wise Brahmana. I told you Agni has many meanings. So, this Sonaka, and now, the word this Sonaka denotes that this Mundaka Upanishad is from Sonak Sakha. It has come from Atharva Veda. There are 4 Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samaveda and Atharvaveda. It has come from its origin, Atharvaveda, and its Shakha is Saunaka. So he goes and says, Sire, what is that knowledge? Upon knowing what, does it all become known? What is that reality which helps you know everything? Or then you do not need to know anything. When all your needs and desires are fulfilled, what for will you know? Why do you want to have a desire to know? Now I am telling you something. When a student persists, follows the path of meditation, a state comes when he finds himself, transports himself, and that is called the state which is called sleepless sleep. It's a great joy, I tell you. Great joy. He's sleeping, yet he's not sleeping. You see. In that, if you try to maintain that state, then the sleep that you enjoy today, comparing to that sleep, is millions times. That sleep is million times higher than the sleep you have today. So when we talk about sleep, because it will take one day, full day, sleep and samadhi and attainment, then I will discuss that. So what is that knowledge? Which helps me knowing everything. So teacher replied. Teacher replies in three ways: by writing, by speaking, and third is higher, through silence. I met 2-3 teachers in my travel. I never questioned them, but any question that was in my mind, they replied. And I had to receive answer whenever I sat in front of them. I do to my students sometimes. I do this. But they don't understand. They are not sensitive of that fact. They come with many questions. I said, just keep quiet. And this is not actually me. This Vidya, I told you, nothing belongs to me. Anything good you find is not mine. It is given by my master. I am only instrument. I am only a messenger. All the questions are resolved if you attain a state of samahitam, a state of tranquility of mind that can be attained either through contemplation or meditation or prayers, right sort of prayers. These three are not different. They are considered to be 3 different schools, but actually all these 3 are, you see, complementary. So he replied, there are 2 sciences to be known, my son, to Sanuka, Angiras says. He says, so say those who know Brahma. Our forebears told us that there are 2 sciences, the higher and the lower. The knowledge of this shore and the knowledge of the other shore. Knowledge of the other shore is Para Vidya. Knowledge of the absolute, knowledge of this shore means the knowledge of this universe. Of these, the lower science is Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, and Athar Veda. Now here I say, Vedas are the storehouse of eternal knowledge. And here he says, lower science, all these are lower science in Vedas. Patanjali says, the words. No one on the earth can be enlightened by the dark words. No matter how many dark words you study whole life. If you become a moth and eat the whole library, you will be not enlightened. So by studying the word, I am telling you, now, I am going. This is a complete sentence. Now I am saying, you are reading it, I am going. You only know that I am going. But I get angry with you and I say, I am going. You cannot know that in anger I am going, departing from you. You cannot know that expression. I suppose my friend with whom I am conversing and I say, you want something, I am going to get it for you. I am going. That expression is different. And it's a time of my meditation, I say, friend, I am going. Now I tell you, go back and I will let you know. A fool laughs 3 times on a joke. First, he laughs because he has not understood the joke. Second, he laughs because others are laughing, second time. Everybody laughs, so you also start laughing like a fool. Ha 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 ha. If I ask you, why are you laughing? One is laughing. Third time he laughs because he understood joke very late. So, black words written, I am going, you read, will never know my true expressions. All these 3 laughters of the same fool has different reason. Words will not give you wisdom. By studying Vedas, you will not get enlightened. You will have to have a teacher. The teacher who had a teacher, who has received that knowledge from his teacher, to study the book of wisdom, to study these Vedas. Till then, when you study is good. Study informs. But still, that will not lead you beyond. What is that lower knowledge? Knowledge, phonetics, ritual, grammar, etymology, so on and so forth. All the knowledge, all the branches of knowledge, anything in the world, in the external world, that comes from human mind is called smriti. Now there are 2 sorts of knowledge, shruti and smriti. Vedic knowledge is impersonal, so that is called shruti. Sometimes the teacher gives some knowledge from his own self. He can give. When he is teaching Vedas, he is teaching you Shruti, knowledge given by his Guru, from his Guru and ultimately from the Brahma. He is teaching you Shruti, but sometimes he can teach by himself. He can teach you. That is called Smriti, which you remember, which has come from the mind, intellect of a great teacher who is human being. So there are 2 sets of knowledge. Fine. Lower and higher. Lower knowledge is product of the human mind. Higher knowledge is impersonal. It has come from the infinite library within you. It has come from the source. Now, that which is invisible, ungraspable, without a family, without caste, having no eyes and no ears. You see. It comes, knowledge has flown, not from any particular person. It has come from the unknown, invisible. It has not come from a particular family, who has a family, who has eyes, who has ears. Very subtle. That unchangeable is that origin of beings whom the wise men see. Who is the wise man? Why do you listen to any wise man? Why do they say in this Upanishad code that you have to listen to the wise man? Here the authority is left on the wise man, who is a Pandit. Pandit is he who has knowledge of life both here and hereafter, who knows what he is doing here and what is going to happen to him after death. He is called Pandit. Gita explains it. Gatasun gatasuncha nanusochanti pandita. Gatasu and agatasu, those who are here, as means pranas, those who have pranas and those whose pranas are departed, who are dead. Such a learned man who has knowledge of both. This shore, this side of the life and that side of the life. Now, you should know something about life. There are many, many theories and sayings about life. You should be free at least. You should have the concept of freedom from all fears before you leave this place. At least you can know. What is this I am brooding about? What's this fear I am carrying with me? Why this burden I had in my heart and mind? What am I afraid of? Is there any death that comes twice in this lifetime? Not possible. Death comes only once. Why am I afraid of? You can enter into dialogue directly with that something which is called death. I can assure you, death is a great solace, peace giver. I am not telling you to die. No, I am not suggesting that. I am telling you that you should learn to be free. How? What a pity feelings do you carry with you yourself? Life is afraid of death? Is it possible for life to be afraid of death? Then it means death is higher than life. Death is not higher than life. Death is a change, a major change in your lifetime, but death is not higher than life. Therefore, there is no need of fearing from death because you are in living. Do you experience death in your daily life? No. Because it's not real. But you see people dying. That's also fact. So you don't feel death in your daily life, so don't be afraid of it. This way you can try to understand that higher knowledge will liberate you from all the fears, not the lower knowledge. There is no such telescope. There is no such bank, there is no such street, there is no such church, there is no such temple, there is no such Swami who will liberate you. You can liberate yourself. Learn. Ye light thy own lamp and get salvation. You can do that. Many times I used to talk to my master. He said, why are you not trying to understand me? Sometimes I used to be childish, sometimes it was genuine. So he would say, there is a hole in your head. I am trying to give you wisdom, but you cannot attain it. I said, you see hole and I don't see. Will you please patch the hole? You know what did he say? He said, you are a modern boy. A modern boy does not know how to stew, so that you cannot fetch the water. There is a serious problem with modern man, and he suffers on account of his ahankara, ego. For stooping, you have to bow. Modern man does not know how to bow. That's a very serious problem. Modern man feeds his ego, and his ego makes him lonely, separates him from the whole. So, now, Angiras explaining about how this cosmos came into existence. Just as a spider releases and reels in its web. Just as the herbs of all trees and plants emerge from the earth, or just as the hair grows out of the human body, so does the universe emerge and become reabsorbed from the indestructible eternal truth. There are three similes. A spider makes a web. He does not bring something outside. It's all from itself within. And plays in it and again absorb it. So this world, this cosmos, was not created by the help of someone. Somebody did not help. The absolute truth to create this universe. So it should not be caught. It is just like the spider. And as the spider sends forth its web, withdraws it without any difficulty. So this whole universe has come out of that Brahman and finally goes back to that Brahman. There is nothing like death. Death and birth are two words. Now, there is a line. This line is hung on two dots, and this line is called life. One is called birth, and another is called death. Both end of the line, of the same line. One end is called birth, another is called death. So let you be not afraid. All the fears will go away when you understand the teachings and try to practice them. And it is easily here come out of, grow on the living creature. You see. As the herbs and plants grow on the earth, so this universe has come into existence from the absolute truth. Now there is one word that needs to be explanation. Through tapas, knowledge of Brahman expands. What is that tapas? There is a particular something, a method There should be a method which the seer of the Upanishad explains. Through tapas, knowledge of Brahman expands. This all expansion we find, this is because of the tapas. Brahma was created, was manifested because of tapas. What is that tapas? Second chapter of Yoga Sutra explains tapas in a different way. Why Lord Mighty needs to do something to create something? Tapas is inseparable nature of the Brahman. It means, O student, when you learn to delight in tapas, when you learn to guide, tapas means tapa, swadhyaya, ishvara, pranidhanani, kriya yoga. Second chapter of Patanjali's tapa. Learning to guide, to direct your sense organs, because they are employed by your mind, therefore these employees distract and dissipate the energy of your mind. That's why learn to direct them. This is called tapas. Second, swadhyaya, study of the scriptures, sayings of the great people, sayings of the great seers, sayings of the great men, sayings of the Bible. Swadhyaya, study of the self, what you are doing. If you study the books and books say be good and you become evil, you remain monster and every day you go on becoming monster. That's not helpful. Study of this manuscript which is called life. This part of manuscript, half, 1/4 it you lost. That is missing. From where have you come? You do not know. Future is also missing. Where will you go? You do not know. Who do you know? You are here. By studying this as you are, you can find out the missing pages of manuscript. That is called life. You have to study that also. Ishvara pranidhanani. There is one thing, Ishvara. The governor of our solar system is called Ishvara. Kriya Yoga, preliminary step. Though it is preliminary, but it is very important. Many times you say, oh, I'm a big teacher, I have learned yoga so much. I don't want to follow preliminary step. If you do not want to attain the first rung, how can you have the second rung? Many of you do not practice preliminary step for meditation, that's why you cannot meditate. If you from the very beginning learn systematically, I assure you in 6 months' time you will write, Swamiji, I have attained what I wanted during my meditation. Here the subject matter is through tapas. The difference that we have formed very bad habits because of our bad living, bad behavior, not learning to direct our mind, action and speech in a right way. That's why we need to make effort. That sincere effort done towards enlightenment is called tapas. It is all 3 levels, mind, action and speech. But absolute truth does not need, Brahma does not need, the firstborn does not need to do tapas because it's natural in him. We are trapped by the impurities of our lifetime. He is not. Knowledge of Brahman expands. From that knowledge evolves anna, food that you eat. Which supplies nourishment to your body. From that evolves prana. on the earth here life. Mind and the five gross elements, earth, water, fire, air and space, as well as the law of karma.